The Boston Celtics are breaking opposing fans, but word of caution here with bonus content on the Locked On Celtics podcast. We'll do this every once in a while. We'll drop a fun little bonus, 15 minutes or so, whatever, when we have a little something extra to talk about. And it's me, it's Tom Westerholm, back. Oh, wait.
Wow.
That was yeah.
No.
Anyway, so the Boston Celtics, there was a Reddit post where it's from a purported Sixers fan who said, "This Celtics team being good has broken me." This is on the Bill Simmons subreddit, and basically saying, let me clean this up a little bit. This year, though, with the Celtics 20 game over 500 and kicking the bleep out of seemingly everyone, Jaylen Brown being an MVP candidate, losing all these people, blah, blah, blah. I can't do it anymore. I'm literally Jesse Pinkman now. They can't keep getting away with it, man. So opposing fans are looking at, like, this was the year, right? This was the year that the Celtics were going to be bad. And you can come in and smack them around a little bit and be like, ha, 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 everybody point and laugh. Everybody loves to point and laugh. When you're right and they're wrong, everybody loves to point and laugh. I can't judge because I'm Mr. Victory Lap. So, You know what I mean? So
we're a Victory Lap positive podcast.
Yes, that's right. We're very pro Victory Lap here.
Yes.
So, but it's just kind of wild to see. We're just talking about in the last podcast, just how good, like this, there's no like surprise in it. This is just who these guys are. You're seeing it, and these opposing fans are like, I can't believe it. They're just good now. They're still good. I was listening to actually the Sixers podcast after that game, and it's like kind of like the same idea. Like, these guys are just good, and we can't get away from them. And so it's just kind of if you want a little bit of the Schadenfreude, it's the go listen to Sixers fans as they try to navigate this season, whatever the season is for them, and look up and be like, the Celtics, they're still there. They're still up there in the standings.
Yeah. Between them and like the Lakers fans after that Lakers game, I mean, and then, like some Bucks fans after yesterday's game, like there's a lot of fans of teams who do not like the Celtics who have probably made you mad with something that they said online at some point about your favorite players over the past 5 years that you can go find and, feel good about if you're a Celtics fan. Like it's everywhere right now.
It is. I don't know. I think it's just kind of fun to see, like, the trickle effect of what the Celtics are doing, what they're doing to opposing fans, how they're being, perceived around the league. It's just, if you ever want credit, not that Joe Mazzulla cares, but if you want credit for what you're doing, I always talked about, like, when I was playing, the best part was, silence on the road. Silence on the road was great. You play, I'm sure these guys, you play in front of the Garden, and of course, 19,000 people who are there to cheer you on are going to cheer you on, even in some bad moments. Just out of nowhere, there'll be a "Let's Go Celtics" chant. But when you're on the road and everyone is rooting against you, to have that, like, silence and just that you can feel the seething, it's just like, this warms my soul, because you're here specifically to cheer your other team, and you can't do it because of what we did to you. So that's satisfying.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's interesting, right? Because I think there may be some element of youthfulness to it, like to some element of age to this, right? Where it's like you're a young player and the Garden, like, you play at the Garden, it goes crazy. That has to feel insane, right? Like, to just, like, you hit a three and TD Garden just, hits the decibel level that TD Garden can hit. I mean, like, that has to hit so hard, right? But as you get a little older and you start to, you've been in the league for a while, and listen, I mean, you've made TD Garden, you're Payton Pritchard, you've made TD Garden hit high decibel levels before. You you may never match the decibel level that TD Garden hit after you hit that half court shot in the finals, right? Like you're Payton Pritchard like that. It's like, it's like tough to get back over that hump again. But when you go to an opposing, like you're saying, right? You go to an opposing team's arena and you make them, and you just like, it's just quiet, right? And everybody's just like, this sucks. I hate this guy. I posted on Blue Sky that it was like, I thought it was kind of striking that like the Bucks announcers sent it to break after the third quarter. They were like, Payton Pritchard, that guy that we hate, or something like that. I was like, like say what you want. I mean, it's fine to, local broadcasts are certainly allowed a level of fandom, but like hate, like this guy's he's kind of an unassuming dude. He just kind of
yeah.
He does his hoop. He doesn't talk a lot of trash or anything. But
today's show is brought to you by TurboTax. It's tax time for a lot of us. The old way of doing taxes is a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth and wondering if they really got to your situation, if they really understand you. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you just go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are going to be handled right. Head to turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Would like to invite you to join the Everydayer Club. You're with me every Monday through Friday. Why not join the club and get ad-free audio, which is compatible with every major podcast app, and get onto our Discord server for in-game chats for Celtics and NBA games. Check it out, lockedonceltics.supercast.com. A whole lot more. Check it out at lockedonceltics.supercast.com.
Before we started on here, I said, I think that to you, I said, I think Celtics fans need to just be a little careful during this time. Right, because the first one is like I have seen some people on social media really like crowing about this and being like, yeah, well, obviously, like, yeah, that's right. It's the Celtics. Like, we're all. It's like that one to me. It's like you get like pump the brake just a bit. Like I get it. I know like fans should be thrilled about this team. You should be over the moon about this team. This is incredible. Joe Mazzulla is incredible. Brad Stevens is incredible. This roster is excellent and it's admirable. These guys are like, fun to watch, like all that stuff. I think just nobody thought that this team was going to be this good, right? So when you're like, yeah, obviously, like we're this good. It's just nobody thought so, right? So like celebrate it. Like scream it, all that stuff, be as online, like, yeah. But like when you start saying like, well, obviously the Celtics are this good, that's where I think it's a little unreasonable. And you're kind of pushing it a little too far.
Here's the one thing that my word of warning, and I don't know how Tatum, it really depends on how Tatum is going to look. I don't know how Tatum's going to look when he comes back. The playoffs are a little bit of a different story.
They are 100%.
And I don't know what the matchup's going to be. And we saw it last year with like the Knicks. Like they got Mitchell Robinson back, and the dynamic changed, and they went through that series with Detroit. And I heard Knicks players say, "Man, good thing we played that Detroit series because that got them ready for what if they played any other team, maybe they wouldn't have been ready for what the Celtics were bringing physically." And maybe if the Celtics played a different team other than Orlando, they wouldn't have gotten as beat up as they did over.
Correct. I was just going to say that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So we don't know what the playoffs are going to be. And if Tatum is some version of Jayson Tatum, then that will change everything that I'm saying here because it gives the Celtics another guy that they can go to. I do have a concern come playoff time. Like what's the Celtics plan B? What's their pivot point? in the regular season, you can do all the things that are upsetting other teams' fans. They're disciplined. They are, doing everything to Joe Mazzulla's liking, the specifications. They're executing well. When the other team can game plan for you, then what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
When they game plan Jaylen Brown, I'm not going to say game plan him out, but when they mitigate him, if Jayson Tatum isn't ready to handle that, what's their plan? That's going to be my question. If Jayson Tatum is ready and he can play however many minutes, 25, 30 minutes, then the plan will be, well, we've got Jayson Tatum, and that's fine. But is Derrick White going to be enough to get Derrick White and whomever going to be enough to get you past another team 4 out of 7 games? So I'm not saying this to say I don't think they can. I think they're good. I think they're going to get to at least the conference finals. But it's still going to be harder.
Yeah.
I think. Right? It's got it
100%. Yeah.
Kind of has to be harder.
100%.
It's the playoffs. It has to be harder.
Yeah. No, I think you'd be ridiculous to think that it wouldn't. Look, there you've got, like you're saying, right? Not only do you have time to game plan for, say, a Jaylen Brown, you also have a game and then time and then another game also against Jaylen Brown. So you not only have time to plan for him, you have time to refine your plan and then refine it again and keep refining it. It is hard. The NBA playoffs are brutal. Like it's just such a slog. It's so difficult. And I think, I think that there are obviously counters, right? If you do throw, everything at Jaylen Brown, if you are throwing things at Jaylen Brown, then the Celtics have the nice advantage of having Joe Mazzulla. One of the things that we've seen with Mazzulla is he can, he is an amazing coach, and he has built this team. He's built this team's mentality to where it needs to be. He's built this team's discipline to where it needs to be. And I mean, all that stuff is incredible in the regular season. And he's won a championship. This is certainly not a point that Joe Mazzulla can't coach in the playoffs or anything like that. It's just what we've seen from this team so far is an unbelievable regular season team, based on discipline, based on showing up every night and doing the right thing every night and giving effort and all of this great stuff, admirable stuff that they have done, all the stuff that you admire in a sports team. The Celtics do that stuff, and immense credit to Joe Mazzulla for that. And the playoffs are just a different game. So it's going to look different. Very similar to the Tatum, when Tatum comes back, how will it change the Celtics? When it's going to change the Celtics in some way, right? Yeah. Whether that's positive, it will be positive, but it will change things for the Celtics, right? When Joe Mazzulla gets to the playoffs, it will be different. Joe Mazzulla is a great coach, and good things he will do good things in the playoffs, but it still will look different than this team that he has just perfected for the regular season. The playoffs are just different.
Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. You want to be in the arena for these games. You want to be there and watch Derrick White doing what he does, Hugo Gonzalez doing what he does. And you can do that with the Game Time app, because it's my go-to app for getting tickets fast without the hassle, puts the advantage back in your hands. So I've used it for a couple of reasons. When I see a price, that's the price that you pay when you check out. So you don't say, oh, wow, this ticket's $50. And then you go to check out and you're like, why is it $80? No, what you see is what you pay. And sometimes I'm in a different city. I want to see, what am I seeing in this arena from this section? I don't know the section numbers, and it shows me the view from the seat. Very easy. If you like the view from a certain section, you can do a zone deal where you pick the section, they'll pick the seats, and you save a few bucks that way as well. It's great for last minute tickets. It's quick, intuitive, and stress-free. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets, NBA tickets, or whatever with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's Locked On, LOCKED, Locked On, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today, or if you're going to use the web, remember, it's gametime.co, gametime.co. Thanks for making a Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Would love to have you at Locked On NBA and Locked On NBA Game Night. It's 2 podcasts on the same feed. Game Night, 7 days a week, covering every game in the league. Locked On NBA in the afternoons is covering all the big stories. I host Game Night on Wednesdays with Jake Madison, so check me out there as well. I trust this coaching staff.
Yeah.
I trust them. I trust them to do anything, honestly. Yeah. And I
change the oil in your car.
Listen, if whatever needs to be done, Joe Mazzulla is going to say either I can do it or I know how to get somebody to do it. Yeah. He's just going to find a way. And the person who does it, who changes my oil, will somehow become the best oil changer in New England.
Yeah.
So my assumption is that Joe will, or even is currently, formulating a plan. Like, how do you beat the Boston Celtics? And he's probably looking at his team and saying, if I was coaching against these guys, how would I beat them?
Yeah.
And then he would go through all that stuff and then say, okay, how do we beat this game plan? Right. I think that's how you need to approach this. And that's why the Celtics are as good as they are. That's why they're breaking opposing fans. The stuff that I even have these concerns about, it's not even, I won't even call it a concern. It's just a thing that could happen. And with Joe and the staff putting together their plan and saying, okay, here's our plan for the other team. Here, what do we anticipate their plan for us being? And you have all of your strengths and weaknesses laid out in the if-then scenarios. No one's going to be more prepared than Mazzulla. The only question mark is the answer to whatever the other team is doing, is the answer to that something that the players are willing to do? And that might be Jaylen, that might be Jayson, that might be Derrick. Is it something that the players are willing to go out there, whatever it is for that series, either not shoot more, not pass more, all of that stuff? It really is going to come down to, I think the staff will be ready. The players, will they be willing to do all of those things? Well, this entire regular season has told me that these players are willing to do whatever Joe Mazzulla says.
Yeah.
And so answering my own questions about what could happen in the playoffs, I trust that this team will have a plan and will have a counter. And so, yeah. And again, this goes back to this post on Reddit where, I can't watch them be disciplined on defense and win the math on offense every game. But that's what they do. The discipline to, this is what we do. This is how we, even when I asked Joe, sorry, I'm rambling.
No, you're good.
Even when I asked Joe about the hot hand theory, he was just like, listen, sometimes you got to you got to call plays to try to steer things towards that. But everything is a balance. Everything is, we're not going to break from what we do. We can try to lean this way or lean that way, but we're not going to break from what we do. So they've earned this level of trust. And by earning that, they're just driving other fan bases crazy, because the way the Celtics have bought into all of this stuff, the execution has been just almost perfect.
So I want to give my one other little caution for Celtics fans before we wrap up here. Okay. So this Celtics team is really good. Joe Mazzulla is going to be here for, I would assume, for a long time. I can't imagine he wants to go anywhere else. And as long, it seems to me,
Mike Zarin, he's here.
It seems like he's just here. Speaking of Mike Zarin also here. Brad Stevens, I don't think he's going anywhere else. Like, it seems like these guys are here. That means that the Celtics have, hey, one of the best cap guys in the NBA at a time when it is really important to have a great cap guy. They apparently have one of the best talent evaluators these two eyes have ever seen, just running things, right? And they also have one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the NBA right now, all together at the same time. They are going to win a lot over the next however many years, right? They have some really great players right now. They have some nice prospects. I think that as the NBA evolves, as the situation evolves, the Celtics will probably figure out the best ways forward. They're going to be good for a long time, right? I think if you're a Celtics fan, right, I think it doesn't matter really, but I think it would be, you will feel better about yourself if you avoid the trap of becoming a, like, there are really smart Lakers fans, right? There are like a lot of really, really, really smart Lakers fans. So I am not bashing all Lakers fans by any stretch of the imagination. But you know the guy with the chain who's like, oh, Lakers. That, like, Lakers. I think you should be careful if you're a Celtics fan. Celtics fans are really smart. There's a lot of really smart Celtics fans.
Yeah.
Don't become the Lakers guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that there is, this Celtics team is, this is kind of amorphous, but like this Celtics team is really smart and really well run, and it just like they do so much smart stuff, and then the fan base seems to kind of pick up on that, and it almost engenders a lot of smart fans in return. I just think that that's a nice cycle that Celtics fans should try to preserve for as long as possible. Continue being smart. Don't be the Lakers guy. Don't be the like, yeah, you should have known. We've been trying to tell you about this team. This team's awesome. It's like, nope. This is a special team. This is a special group. But like, remember that at the start of this season, there were people who genuinely thought, like myself included, but many, many others who thought that this team should have been in the lottery, right? Who thought that this team's best path forward was the lottery. Like, just don't do too much hubris. That's what I'm trying to say for Celtics fans. Don't take on too much of it. Enjoy it though, because this is going to be one probably a fairly long run of really watchable Celtics basketball, I would imagine.
Yeah. Like the CBA is supposed to like tear teams apart.
Yeah.
You're supposed to rebuild. You're supposed to bottom out. The Celtics, I at the beginning I was saying, yeah, they're going to bottom out too. Everybody's going to. But I don't know, man. With Joe and with Brad and with these cap guys, it just feels like it's not bottoming out as much as it's going to be a little dip, a little slow. More actual gap years, not this year gap year, but like more actual kind of gap year type of things versus tanking, get to the bottom, whatever. I mean, unless, no, you know what? No, unless.
Yeah.
This is too well run a franchise. And as long as Joe Mazzulla is the coach, they're just not going to tank. He's not going to let the team be awful. They're going to win. So yeah, we'll just enjoy it. To Tom Westerholm's point. Tom,
Brad Stevens always says, never get too high, never get too low. That's
smart guy.
Take that. Yeah, it's a very smart guy. That's good life advice for all of us.
Well, I'm Greek, so that's just impossible for me. It's nothing but highs and lows. So sorry. But great. Again, why I'm doing a podcast and not running a team. And the only reason why I'm not doing it. That's the only reason why.
You would have been too excitable in that front.
I'm just too passionate, like all us Greeks. So that's it.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you as always.
Appreciate you, man.
I do appreciate Tom Westerholm. And I do appreciate you. Bonus podcast here. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for checking it out. Thank you for subscribing. If this is your first podcast, we're normally a 30 minutes, Monday through Friday, daily podcast. So subscribe, get it here, get it wherever you get your audio if you'd like that. Get into the comment section, share your thoughts there. Would love it if you share the podcast and tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.